Alrighty, welcome to Cooking with Charlie. Right now we are going to be baking a chocolate mayonnaise surprise cake. For this recipe, we are going to need the following. 2 cups of flour. For the video, I will be using gluten-free flour. We will need, we will need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. We will need 4 tablespoons of cocoa. We need a cup of water. Water. Cup of water, which I've just prepared here using 2 half cups. We are then going to need a cup of granulated cane sugar, 1 cup of mayonnaise, and the final bit, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Alright? So, first thing we need to do is sift the flour, baking powder, and cocoa together, which is actually pretty easy to do. Just get yourself a bowl right here, and can I find it? And the answer is yes. It's just what I was looking for on the place. Plus your handy little sifter here. Alright, let's get started with the flour. We need 2 cups of it, and since this is gluten-free, my mom taught me this little thing that you always with gluten-free flour. Sorry, I'm just going to grab the measuring cup I'm using here. I'm going to spoon it in. Alright, so hold on a second here. Sorry about that, and I just had to prepare a little finger. Okay. Yep. Alrighty, so flour first. Sorry, I'm just going to clean up this little bit of a mess I made here. It's always best to keep a good, clean work environment because, you know what they say, clean work environment is a happy work environment. Alrighty. That's one of those. Now let's get another one of these half cups because again, we need, it says right here in the recipe, 2 cups. So that means we're going to need 4 half cups overall. Mainly because the full cup I have currently is being used for mayonnaise. Please ignore any background noise. Alright. Alright, that means we're on to 2 more half cups. Sorry about this taking a minute here, but you know what they say about bacon? It's always nice to take your time, relax, and enjoy it. Because the longer you take, usually the better product it'll be. Alright, there we go. There is the last half cup of flour. Just going to dust off my hands here with the sink. And I'm going to then seal this bad boy away. Alrighty, next up, baking soda, which we need 2 teaspoons of. Got my little baking soda right here, and I'm going to pour it in. Over the sink. Get that all nice and ready. So 1 teaspoon. That's 2 teaspoons. All right. Oh shoot. Well, that doesn't matter too much. Well, can't even talk to me, right? We all have days like that where you just can't talk, you know? Sometimes it feels like that for me, like sometimes all right. Alright, last thing we need is 4 tablespoons. That's right, tablespoons, so a bit of a larger measurement here of cocoa. Right now, I've just got some Hershey's with cocoa. Crack that lid open. Scoop it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, and we just got to sift it, and that's actually quite a simple process. Just going to bang against here while tilting it at an angle, and just constantly pound and pound and pound, and it will eventually sift it all together. Sorry about my little condescending tone of voice here, you know, just sort of a little bit of an accident happened with a food processor, and I don't even know what happened, but it fell over, and the top ropes are going to have to get a new one of those. And coca is usually, like, the last little thing that's a stickler. See? So, I'm going to beat it hard. Just try to break it down as much as you can before it just started dumping the little cocoa balls in. Because they just sort of show up, you know? Can't really do nothing about it. I mean, you could try crushing it with a fork, which, you know what? It might actually work. So, let's try that. Yeah, it breaks them down a little bit, you know, makes it easier to sift, and cocoa powder all over the place, you know. Just keep doing that. Sorry about that little clanking noise there. That was a bit annoying, I'm going to have to say myself personally. Ooh. Now, see here, it says right here, gotta set this large bowl aside, right? And now we need to beat together a couple of little ingredients here in this other bowl. Gotta beat together the sugar, milk, water, and vanilla. So let's start with the sugar. We need an entire cup granulated sugar right here. Just crack this open. I'll get this bowl centered a little bit more. I know I don't have any apron or anything of that like, but I always take care and, you know, wash my hands, all that good stuff. You know, just make sure that's all taken care of. And I'm going to pour this over the sink. Sorry if you hear any incoherent muttering or anything of the like. I just sort of mutter to myself a little bit sometimes, but, you know, that sort of thing's fine. Alrighty, and with that, we've got the first ingredient added, and now I'm just going to seal this bad boy back up, put them in the cupboard. Now, the next thing we want to add here is the mayo. Right here, I've just got it all nice sorted out. I am going to get a spoon to help me spoon it out of this cup and into here. Because it's a little bit more liquidy. This is some homemade mayo, which is actually a bit better than normal mayo. You know, like, I always personally find homemade better than, like, not homemade, right? Now, this little mayo recipe is actually quite simple. you just get a cup of oil, canola oil, something like that, right? A cup of canola oil, 1 egg, and a little bit of salt. And if you want a little bit of Dijon mustard, I don't really do that, just not my thing, right? But some people like it. Oh yeah, and you've got to whisk it together for like 10 minutes, right? It's just like, ooh, hand whisk. Much harder, but tastier in the end, unless you've got a food processor. Then you just stick it in a food processor for like 10 minutes, right? Except for that, my food processor is dead. It's dead. It's gotta get a new lid, right? Alrighty. Next up, gotta get the water. Right here, I've already pre-measured an entire cup of water. And the vanilla, which we want 2 teaspoons for. Now, remember, teaspoons, not tablespoons, because if we ended up adding tablespoons of vanilla, that would overpower this entire recipe, all right? And you have to be very careful of that sort of thing, okay? There we go. 2 teaspoons right there. It's pretty easy, and with that, only a few steps we gotta do left, right? Now, we have to we've got to mix all the stuff in. So we've got to stir the flour mixture into this mixture we've just concocted here. So what I like doing is grabbing these little things here and just getting from here. Hand mixer, very useful. It is just one of the nicest things to have around your kitchen. Useful in almost every single recipe you do. All right, so then going to first gently mix this together. All right, and then we've got our little sugar mix here together. Want to get this, mix it right on in. So you pour it all in, just like that. And I'm going to mix until it is nice and somewhat thick. Now, I don't use the word thick too lightly here, because in all reality, it does have to be somewhat thick, but you don't want it too thick. If it's too thick, it won't go into the pan, won't be nice, won't be good in the end, but you want it thick enough to the point where it's not syrup, alright? So if you didn't add all the ingredients properly, if you got a balanced sauce, it'll end up being too liquid. But if you add too much, it'll be too thick. So you want to get just the right amount. You want to make sure you get just the right amount when you're measuring the stuff, Now, just after a couple of seconds mixing here, it's nothing too difficult. Keep mixing and keep mixing. Oh, that's now the iPad. Ugh. Oh no, it's messing with the video. Oh, the cake. Get those off nice, just like that, and clean them. Oh, man, that was no good right there. Just, whew. Alrighty. Now, whoops-a-daisy. I want to put this away because it's always good kitchen, prep, all that good stuff to get this sort of thing put away quickly, alright? Oh, looks like I've only got about 6 minutes left here. Alrighty. Now, all we've got to do is put this into, pour batter into 2 greased and floured layer pans, or a greased and floured 9 by 13 inches pan, which is actually quite nice. You bake it 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let me just make sure my oven's empty here. Had a pan around. That's where we store our pans. We don't got a lot of space around here. No hooks or anything like that, right? Now, nice 9x13 pan. Going to want to, I just use some canola spray to stick my pan. It works quite well. And then you want to sprinkle a little bit of flour in there, knock it around a little bit and knock the excess into your sink or your garbage to just make sure you don't have any excess flour in there. Now let's get our flour. And we usually just want maybe like a pinch or two, or potentially a spoonful. Now, don't want this to be too big of a spoonful, otherwise that'd just be a waste of flour. Maybe 2 little spoonfuls here. Because,
I'm going upstairs.
Yeah, there's some little problems here and there, if you add too much, don't add enough, right? Now, yeah, so now we just add this and we just, knock it around a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take care of one thing here. Alrighty, and just knock it around a little bit. It's not very good at the moment, so around. Oh, jeez. I'm going to add a little bit more since I'm having a little bit of a tough time here. It's not going in my favor. So hopefully don't overflour it or anything. Yeah. Ooh, boy. And no, this video isn't really for kids. I mean, it could be if you want to, but really, I don't want to I don't want to violate any copyrights or anything, right? This is not catered towards kids. It's catered towards anybody who wants to cook. All right, so if you're a kid, sure, go ahead, follow this. But I'm not going to pay any $42,000 fines today. No, thank you. Get a nice, good mixture all over the pan. And then just dump the excess out. And repeat this process until every last little bit of excess flour, pat it out until we've got a nice, somewhat even coated pan, just like that. And then gonna want to do is spoon this into here and spread it around evenly. All right, I found that it works if you do spread it around evenly. And just a little bit of a problem here. I don't have my normal spatula for doing this sort of thing. Or right, not spatula, spoon. Oh wait a minute. Here we go. And then we just rinse this off here. Now, we just get a paper towel and dry this off. Because I did use this earlier to make that mayonnaise. And we're able to scoop it out of the tank, But just giving it a good rinse. No harm done. Now, all we want to do, spoon this right in. My mine is a little bit thicker, but it's a cake, so it'll be fine. Most of the time, as long as you're having fun again, as long as you take your time, it'll be fine. Gonna have a good time, gonna make a good cake here, alright? Just keep on spooning. Clear the edges. You want to get every last little bit if you can. If you can't, it's perfectly fine, But, get a spoon, get it whatever you can, and just scrape along. Spoon it in there, alright? Just keep this process up. Today's been a pretty good day. They do our school, they do an asynchronous thing for Wednesdays. So pretty much it's a free day for me. So, do a little bit of homework here and there, get caught up with my things. And for most part, I'm just sort of having fun like this. I'm doing little things like this, and technically this is an assignment for French class. I've got to do a voiceover with some classmates of mine in French. Probably not going to have that in the main video. Just going to be in the cooking video that I just said that. Just going to have some stuff recorded, but this video for the main channel, is going to just, geez, I'm hearing some noise in the background. Somebody's watching their video a little bit too loud or something. Maybe I think I heard somebody say Joe Biden, which is interesting. You know, maybe they could tone it down a little bit. Now, living with siblings can be hard sometimes, and so it's compromising. All right, you've got to make compromises all the time with siblings. Now, spread this evenly into the pan. Oh shoot. And it's a little bit too thick. I've done goofed, per se. Because I made mine a little bit too thick. Which, shoot, I can't really spread it around right now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, mine's a bit too thick, a bit too gooey. Which might be a problem with your guys's. If it is, that's no big deal. It's like, hey, it's meant to be fun, meant to have fun with it. Alright, the frosting will cover up any mistakes or imperfections in the baking, alright? The only thing we don't want to do is overcook it, because if we overcook it, that'll just be even worse. That'll make this an even worse cake in the end. And this cake it's not gonna be my best cake, because I think the one problem I really had was I didn't actually have a full cup of mayo. I only had like maybe 3/4 of a cup, and that sort of screwed me over a little bit, you see. Now, I don't think anybody is going to be watching this far into the video, especially none of the people I know who are subscribed to me. Now, if you guys are, I'm very impressed, a little bit shocked to say the least. But, if you are, make sure to subscribe, like, and, you know, have a wonderful day. No matter what you do, if you do or don't subscribe, I hope you have a great day. Because that's what this is all about. It's about enjoying yourself, enjoying your life. And you know what? Take these little days that you have off, like me. Like, you know, just take them, have fun, enjoy them. And, you know, just sort of try to live a nice, happy life that you can be proud of. All right? And if you're having trouble, if you're sad, if you're down, try getting into a hobby, you know, do some cooking, do some sewing. You know, for me, I'm doing Warhammer, which is fun. You know, I enjoy it. I enjoy the painting. I enjoy all that stuff. You've seen videos of me assembling models on my channel before. So sometimes, if you're feeling down in the dumps, starting a hobby, starting a hobby can be one of the best things to do. You know, just because it makes it so you can breathe, you can relax, and you can do something to relax from the hard work and the hard life you've got going. You know, for me, when I really started my hobby, I wasn't really doing too well. It was COVID, which, big thing right there. And I also had work, and work was just getting me down. You know, I was feeling like I was wasting all my summer away with work. And so I was like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to start a hobby. And you know what? I think Warhammer, you know, I think that might be a good thing to do. Because, you know, I love my science fiction. It's nice. I enjoy it. And so I started, and, you know, I think I've been a little bit happier ever since. It is a big money sink for. But we're going to ignore that little bit there for now. Because, you know, it's just another little thing, right? Well, so thin. In some areas, I need to really just even this bad cake out. I just messed up a little bit, you know? Oops, daisy. That's fine. You know, I've been playing a little fun game here called Enter the Gungeon. It's really nice, you know. It's a roguelike game is what I believe what it's called. And it's fun. I enjoy it. It's very nice. You know, it's a bullet hell as well. It's actually quite funny with how it does bullet hell, right? It's bullets shooting guns if you haven't seen it before. It's quite nice. You know? Just doing nice little things like that, enjoying video games, baking, cooking, sewing, knitting, all that nice, good stuff. Makes your life better, you know? Just finding things that you can enjoy, things that you can do. And man, I really did not do good on this cake. I screwed up hard. And let's hope it cooks properly. That's one big thing that I'm a little bit worried about. Just this cooking properly. That's why I've been mixing this for like, what, 5 minutes now? I'm just trying to spread it out as evenly as I can. Because in the end, with this getting spread evenly, has a better chance to cook right. Might be easier to use some bread pan. What does it say? Batter into 2 greased and floured layer pans or a greased and floured 9x13 pan. Yeah, you know what? We might have to do this a little bit more rapidly. Whoopsie daisy. No, I'm sure that's bigger bad. Taking this, and we're going to coat it. I'm going to spoon it out of here, which won't actually be too difficult, because I sprayed it with nonstick and floured it. You know, just getting this done with a quiet environment is really tricky, especially with all my siblings doing stuff, you know, especially this one that's just across from me. Doing this sort of thing can be a little bit tricky, but again, it's all about compromises with siblings, right? And this is not spread out well whatsoever. God, I really should have just added an egg. It's too late for that, though. Can't really go back at this point in time. It's a point of no return, right? So we're going to do this. Hope it turns out well. I do feel a little bit bad because I told Joe he'd get the first slice and stuff, but I'm hoping it turns out good enough to the point where it's actually edible. If it isn't, that means I've screwed up majorly, and yeah, I'm not going to do this again, though. Yeah. Sorry about going a little bit quiet here, you know. I'm just trying to get this, I'm just trying to focus here, get this all spread out as evenly as I can. Oh, my goodness, would you look at that? I forgot to preheat the oven. Got to preheat that to 350 degrees. But then we've got to put this cake in there for, I believe, 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Which is almost how long this video is. 30 to 35 minutes for layer pans, or 30 minutes in an oblong pan. So, got to do it for 35 minutes. Sounds like, you know. Especially since we've got a metal pan. 35 minutes will be the optimal baking time for this, which doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look great either. You know, this kind of stuff can be tricky sometimes, and you know what? If you skimp on stuff like I did, then it can be really tricky. Because I didn't make enough mayo. And, well, the stuff that I did, it should have been enough. But the stuff that I had sort of fell onto the floor with the, what's it called? You know, it's all fine. We're all good here. Alright. Aside from that, we've just got to bake, and then that'll be it. Thank you guys for watching, and you know what? I'll probably have a picture of the baked food as a thumbnail.